Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I am your host, the Ranting Monkey, and I hope you're having a good Saturday. It is Saturday here in the east side of the U.S. I don't know how this is the east side. I'm in Michigan, but, still the east. The the Portland protests, you guys, holy crap. They have gotten just ridiculous. As predicted, told you last night, it's Friday. People don't have work tomorrow. A lot of these guys, so there's a bigger crowd tonight, and tomorrow it'll be even worse. And I've already seen them gassed twice. It's kind of fun. I caught it right at the end of the first gassing just a moment ago, and shit, I forgot to get soda. Oh well. Whoops. They're getting gassed again because they won't leave that damn fence alone. It's funny. This fence is put up just to keep them the hell away. And they can't be bothered. That they can't be bothered to leave it the hell alone. They're just out there chanting and protesting, you guys. Really? Really? Go watch. Go watch. That's not what's happening. That's not even close to what's happening. Did you guys see how the press kind of freaked out a little bit because Kayleigh McEnany, whatever her name is, the press secretary for the White House, she played part of this footage. She played some of the riot footage during the press briefing today. And people were like, "This is what they're showing at the White House press briefing." Like, yeah, they're trying to get the word out because you guys lie all the fucking time. And it was funny. There were very few. I can't even remember if there were any questions directly related to the riots and stuff going on, because when she showed this, it's part of her opening statement, and then it goes into the questions, and they ask all kinds of other ridiculous questions. Apparently, with the footage, none of them really wanted to talk about it. None of them wanted to discuss what's actually going on, which is odd, right? Odd how they're like, yeah, well, now that we can't lie about it because there's fucking video right in front of us. We're going to ask about Donald Trump and him canceling the Republican convention. They talked about that quite a bit. Like, is he going to cancel other things because he canceled that, And she's like, well, we'll see what happens. We have protocols in place. We'll see what happens. And several of them were getting angry with her because she wasn't answering questions. They asked, apparently Trump had a call with Putin, and they asked her several questions about that. And she's like, I wasn't on the call, but here's where we stand. And they're like, you're not answering my question. Did they talk about it? She's like, I don't know. And she's like, I'm going to move on. I've answered your question. No, you haven't. Like, bitch, she answered your question. Just because you don't like it, doesn't mean it wasn't answered. Is I don't know an acceptable answer? I mean, it depends. I can see it being frustrating for you not to get the answer you're looking for. But, I mean, it was answered. She doesn't know. How? But, man, they were on the scent. But suddenly they didn't want to talk about Portland. It was odd. It's odd. Because Wheeler, just yesterday, on Thursday, Wheeler's, he's talking about how he got gassed and how bad it was. And so Friday, the White House comes out and goes, this is what we're talking about, and shows it to them. None of them want to talk about that. Bunch of cunts. By the way, YouTube, my opening was done a long time ago, so I can say cunts now. I can say fucking cunts if I want to. That's still within your rules. Watching these idiots at this fence. I mean, they had this fence rocking pretty good, and they're going to end up breaking it at some point. And somebody's going to get hurt. Not from the reaction from the military, but when that fence breaks, we're talking about a giant iron fence that has been erected that's pretty well in place. And these idiots are shaking the ever-loving shit out of it. So one of them's going to get hurt. That's what happens when broken metal goes flying everywhere. Fucking dumbasses. As if the press were owed the answer they desire. Faithless, that's a thing. Do you guys ever watch the press conferences? I watch them whenever I can. And a lot of times people are, civil, like, okay, that's fine. Some of them, it's almost like they think their job is to be adversarial. Thank you. This is Kyle who says, hello, chat people and monkey. Hello, sir. I hope you're well. Don't forget, we are brought to you by you. Hit that like button, hit that share button. If you can, throw money at Jack and myself. His links are down below. He's probably sleeping. I hope he's getting some sleep. He was so tired yesterday. I hope he's getting some rest. But he may or may not be by later. But he's still part of the show, and toss some money at him too. Anyway, Shark, I was just getting to there. Electrify the fence. I do believe that's at this point. Put a nice what's a good voltage? It's not going to kill somebody, but it's going to make them never do it again. It's going to make them go, oh, that's a bad fucking idea. Because remember, this fence is put up just to keep these assholes from getting to that building to break the building, because they were destroying the building, and they put up this plywood facade, and they were breaking that. So like, fuck it, let's just move these bitches back some. That's all they were doing. But anyway, we have a right to stand up there and yell at you at how much we think you suck. Paul, thank you so much. Let these rioting fools get hurt or perish. They bring it onto themselves. They do. This is not peaceful protest. This isn't even protest. This is outright rioting. This is just a bunch of shitbag rabble rousers. But yeah, if you watch the press conferences, you'll get this notion that the press is supposed to be adversarial. That's not what the press is there for. That's what the other party is there for. The press is there to ask questions. The press is there to get information. They're not supposed to be there to, fight with the president or the president's advisor. But that's what they do, man, all the time. All the time. She gave him the answer. I don't know. I was not on that call. I'm not privy to what was said. But you're not answering my question. Fuck off. I wish you'd look at him and just go, fuck off. But no, man, they get mad. And the funny part was there were three people who got into an argument with her that I remember. 2 women and 1 dude. And the dude, it could have been a woman with a deep voice. But oh my God, they were just so bitchy. And I'm including the dude in that. I'm not saying, it's because they're women. They were such cocksuckers. Is that better? They were such assholes about it. Like, Jesus Christ, let it go. She answered the fucking question. Paul, thank you again. Monkey, the press is part of the DNC. I often call them an unpaid wing of the DNC. I'm not sure how unpaid they are. There's some disgusting, incestuous behaviors between the DNC and the media. I'm not saying that they're, yeah, I am. They're horrible people who work together to, try to get left-wing bullshit passed. They were a dick. Yeah, they were dicks. They were dicks. It was just so funny. I'm like, good, let it go. Let it go. The one guy that was arguing, another guy has a question, and she goes to call on him. And he decides to defer for a minute back to the other guy. And she's like, oh, I guess you don't have a question. He goes, no, I do. It was funny. Like, you don't get to just hand off your question to somebody else. That's not how it works. As for this fence, I am for electrifying it. But those of you who watch these streams often, you may know Trey Stewart. Trey Stewart is one of the cameramen. He got shot in the nuts with something tonight. I don't know how he got shot in the nuts, because as far as I know, the police haven't come outside of that fence line. So either he was inside of it, or maybe it was one of the ones that they threw over that explode and it hit him in the nuts. Hit him in the nuts, you guys. Just boom. And he's been whining about it since, which I guess I can understand. There was a medic, using air quotes, a medic who came to take a look at it, and everybody formed a half circle around him so nobody'd see his junk, and she looked at his junk. There was no bruising or no bleeding, but it was bruised. And she told him, you might need to go to a doctor if it keeps hurting. Dude, you need to go to a doctor now. Your nuts getting fucked up can kill you. You can die from nut injuries. That is a fact. You need to go to the hospital now. but this medic just gave him 800 milligrams of fucking ibuprofen and told him keep some ice on it. Dude, you need to go get that checked out. Medic in quotations, because these people, they don't have degrees or anything. These people don't know what the fuck they're doing. Oh, they're gonna get somebody really hurt. And Trey could end up losing his nuts over this. Anyhow, I don't want to talk too much about this right now. We may get back to it. I do want to talk. Somebody sent me this letter. Shroom sent this. This is a letter that the Portland Police Department put out last night. Dear business owners and or residents, please know that the Seattle Police Department is committed to addressing life safety incidents and calls for service and responding to ongoing demonstrations of unrest in the city. Please also know that the City Council Ordinance 119805 crowd control tool goes into effect this weekend on Sunday, July 26, 2020. This ordinance bans Seattle police officers the use of less lethal tools, including pepper spray that is commonly used to disperse crowds that have turned violent. Simply put, the legislation gives officers no ability to safely intercede to preserve property in the midst of a large, violent crowd. It is important to bring to your attention that yesterday I sent the City Council a letter ensuring them that as Chief of Police, I have done my due diligence of informing them numerous times of the foreseeable impact of this ordinance on upcoming events. The letter is attached for your reference. For these reasons, Seattle Police will have an adjusted deployment in response to any demonstration this weekend, as I will never ask our officers to risk their personal safety to protect property without the tools to do so in a safe way. Sincerely, Carmen Best, Police Chief. So Seattle is trying to get their police killed. Thank you, Anonymous Maximus. Cop is hell of a marksman to hit that tiny target. Yeah. Shark says so. Only lethal methods of dispersing a crowd. Yeah. Out there in Mayor Jenny's area, guys, if you want to go riding, I guess Sunday is the time. They have no real way to stop you. They're not even gonna try. So they'll just be like, well, shit, that's gone. No pepper spray. You pepper spraying these people is wrong. Is it? It's better than shooting them, ain't it? I mean, if you don't want them to die, your other choice is to just let them go. This is the choice they look at right now is, do we just let them destroy Seattle? Do to Seattle what they they didn't really do to Chaz, but they kind of did. More like what Portland's doing. Or do you shoot them? And the police chief is like, we're not doing either. We're just going to hang back. I'm not getting my officers hurt. I would love to see the business owners standing guard and shooting anyone who trespasses. Oh, you and me both. I don't think it'll happen, but I would be upset to see it. Evolve Potato, thank you. At least Trey wasn't using those nuts. And he won't be again. Thank you for the donation. Anonymous, thank you. Who says, I say we hit these politicians' homes and property. I do not encourage anybody to do anything. I do point out the result of their rhetoric. So, like when people went to Mayor Jenny's house last time, they're mostly civil and stuff, but you don't have to be anymore. You don't have to be. And in Portland, Ted Wheeler did not see a reason for tear gas to be used against people who had set a giant fire he was standing right in front of. So apparently, if you go to Ted Wheeler's house and you were to set a giant fire, which I do not recommend you do, he's not even going to call the police because he doesn't see a reaction or a reason for reaction for that. If you go to his private property and were to do something like that, he'd see no reason for police interaction. That's the message you're sending, you dumb motherfucker. And in Ted's case, man, they fucking hate him. Why would you tell the protesters that? You fucking idiot. I say defund these idiot politicians. You know, the problem is they're the ones that get a vote on that. There's not a good way to do that without their approval, unfortunately. Now, I didn't see a whole lot on the news today that I was, moved by. But there was something, a wall of vets to join Black Lives Matter protesters in Portland. Ooh, this is interesting. Another huge crowd tonight in Portland, including a new wall on the front line, a wall of vets. Here's a look at the line of military veterans getting set up here in front of the federal courthouse. Behind them, a wall of moms and a wall of dads are arriving. They got a guy wearing a Marine hat. All right. Here's the thing, homie. Stay the fuck back and nothing will happen. That's it. Don't break shit and nothing will happen. It's that simple. Don't break shit. Why is that so hard? No, not that one. No, not that one. I'm trying to find, there was a story and I can't remember what it was. I hate when I don't mention things, write things down, or respond to them so that I do remember them. Yeah, fuck it. I don't care anymore. There's a lot of stupid going on, as there always is, but I mean, can somebody remind me exactly what they are protesting? Because all I'm seeing is people walking around with vandalism boners. Supposedly, this is over the death of George Floyd. Supposedly. And then it became about getting the feds out of the city. We shouldn't have feds in the city, except for the feds are in their building. Stay the fuck away from their building. They won't come out unless they're called by the city. That's the part that they keep leaving out of all of these news articles and stuff about it. They just leave the building alone and they'll leave you alone. The whole reason that there was a federal response to this is because they tried to break into this building and set it on fire. You know, peaceful protesting. There was an idiot over when I was actually on Eyes on Stream. It was telling us, no, there's plenty of video of the police actually starting those fires. No, there's not. Shut up. I'm telling you, I saw it with my own eyes. You're a liar. You're a liar. And that councilwoman, whatever the fuck her name is, that out there in Portland, who claimed that the police were setting fires, she came out and she apologized for it because she was a lying bitch. Because the police chief out there, remember, there's a commissioner who's actually the mayor. That's Teddy. And then there is a chief underneath him. And I said underneath with an F. I'm sorry. Underneath him. And the chief was like, that's some bullshit. You better present evidence or shut the fuck up. And she apologized. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. These lefty politicians, they know. And I suppose not just lefty. Politicians know. All they got to do is say something. Even if it's proven wrong. Some moron out there will keep the lie alive. And then it's not their fault. They're, look, I apologize for that. I didn't mean, I was wrong. But the idiots are still out there doing what they do. Spreading stupid. Stop spreading stupid. They do it on purpose. It is an old trick. But they still do it, so. How do they know there's no justice when Chauvin's trial isn't over yet? Well, it's a weird thing. No justice, no peace. They didn't even wait for justice. Not even for him. I mean, look, to me, the guy's guilty, but it's still a process that has to be respected. And here's the other thing. Chauvin could get the death penalty. The other three could get the death penalty right along with him. And this riot here in Portland, not going to stop. Riot in Seattle, not going to stop. Riots in Detroit and Louisville and across the fucking country, not going to stop. Because this has fuck all to do with George Floyd. Has nothing to do with him. And they know it. And it's just the press that keeps lying about it. They're the ones that keep telling us, no, it's about George Floyd. This is a Black Lives Matter protest. Yeah. It's an awful lot of people lacking melanin down there. And again, that's not to say black people and white people can't get together and demonstrate. And that was how it was at the beginning. Guys, remember, I commented on that. But here in Portland, maybe during the early hours before the actual rioting starts, you get a couple of black speakers up there. But look at those crowds, man. Those are honky crowds. This is Antifa. This isn't BLM at all. It's not BLM at all. And I'm not saying BLM can't act the same way. We've seen BLM act this way. But credit where due. This is Antifa, not BLM. Washington football team. What an unimaginative name. Yeah, talked about that yesterday. It's fucking stupid. Fucking stupid. You might as well call them the Washington placeholders. At least then it would have made a little more sense. Somebody put, what was it? I saw somebody say, be interesting to see their mascot that's a whole football team. I'm paraphrasing, but I'm not far off. Oh, excuse me. So sorry about that. Yeah, the press here has been even dirtier than normal. And I don't know. I'm wondering when one of them will have the balls to show what Kaylee showed. Just one of them. Be like, this is what's actually happening down here. This is when the police move in. The police have only been moving in, the federal police, especially this is day 3 now since that fence has been up. And even before then, when they were directly going after the building before or the fence now, fires are started, or there's some other dangerous thing happening. And I'm trying to think of instances, because I know they've come out when a whole bunch of fireworks have been shot at one time. By the way, not smart to do. But they all treat it like, I mean, those police, there's a picture. P-Dog showed it on Lords of the Night last night. There's a picture of this chick getting arrested by the federal police. And you can see, real quick, Hazmat, thank you. I like the Washington Radskins team name. I don't know what name they should go with. I really don't. But I wonder if P-Dog has that up on his timeline. Because I got to show you this picture. It is telling. And I had to point it out to the guys because they were like, you get no context from this picture. Except for there is context. Shit, I don't see it. Apparently it was going around today. It said, this is what fascism looks like. See if I can find it that way. What fascism? I spelled fascism right, so probably not. These assholes don't know how to spell their own words. Oh, is it this one? Yes, this is it. Aha. All right, I want to show you guys this. Take a look at this woman. Oh, hang on, I got to clear the screen. Man, I wish they made it so I didn't have to do that all the time. Anyway, there we go. This is what fascism looks like, you guys. See, they got this girl, and look how scared she looks. Now, the first thing I noticed when I saw this, the first thing that jumped out at me is there's no black fence between this wall, which is the Justice Center, and this woman. There is your context right there. There's a fence right here. Right here. She is not supposed to be in here. She is not supposed to be anywhere in this area. But look how mean they're being to this woman. Look at this fascism. She was just talking, you guys. This is what fascism looks like. Look, we found a woman being abused. Becca, thank you for dropping the Streamlabs. Like, yeah, guys, I'm brought to you by you. Hit that like button, hit that share button, and if you can, pennies are always appreciated. Dimes, nickels, dollars, whatever. This is what fascism looks like. They don't even know what the word means. They don't even know what the word means. They throw it around all the time. What they really mean to be saying is oppressive. That would work. Totalitarian. You could use that word for a lot of the ones where they misuse fascist. Fascism has a very specific definition, which includes stopping people from being able to speak out against the government, which isn't happening here. There's tons of these assholes that are allowed to speak out for hours at a time. Hours at a time. Nothing ever happens to them. This woman is inside the barricade that is supposed to keep her out because they kept trying to destroy this fucking building. This is what fascism looks like if you're a fucking moron. Yeah. This is what American fascism looks like. I need to respond to that. I haven't done so. Sure. If you're a goddamn idiot, that's fascism. If you're smart, it's a criminal being detained. Yes, we know which you are. All right. Sorry, sometimes I got to tweet live. This is what fascism in America looks like, you guys. Shut the fuck up. That's dumb as shit. That is dumb as shit. Night, Kyle. Have a good one, man. I don't know that there's that much more to say. Now, we can talk about the decision out of the Supreme Court today. I forget which state it was, but somebody was suing their state because the state wouldn't let them have religious services. And the churches were like, this is bullshit. You let all kinds of other crowds happen. And the Supreme Court, in an unsigned decision, which I still haven't read, I need to read it. But they're like, no, it's fine. You can have churches shut down. And in the dissent, I forget which one was the author of the dissent, but because there's two different dissents. One signed by three. Was it Thomas, Alito, and Gorsuch, I think? And then Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh was in there somewhere. Those four, they dissented, which means Roberts went with the court to say that it's fine to tell churches they can't be open. Well, it's also fine to say, you can have 10,000 people in the street all tightly packed together to whine about somebody they never even met and don't know and don't actually care about. Alito did the first one. Gorsuch did the second. Thank you. Okay. This is a bad decision. I will read it, but it's a bad decision. This is I don't understand how you can say with all of the other things, because they mentioned a whole bunch of other places that were open and crowd gatherings. I don't understand how they can say, no, we're not just singling out churches here, when they've opened other things, and especially when it's funny to me that the separation of church and state folks, they love it when the government gets involved in churches like this. When the government says you can shut down churches, but don't let it go the other way at all. Don't let it go the other way. Don't let them put up a nativity scene at Christmas outside the county courthouse. Because how dare you? That's interfering in the government, you guys. Yeah, Snub, thank you. Was it a ban? I thought they just limited the occupants. No, these were, you couldn't have church services. There's different places that have different rules. Let's see. Let's bring up an article. Supreme Court should bring up a decision, but it is way too long to read during the show. Those things, they tend to get wordy. Let's see. There's a Nevada church. There we go. Supreme Court has ruled on Friday, denied a petition from a church in Nevada that argued a policy it was limiting in-person church attendance to 50 during the coronavirus violated the Constitution. So you're right. It was limiting the size of it this time, Snub. Although the court order was unsigned, Alito, Thomas, Kavanaugh, and Gorsuch all dissented. In the Nevada case, lawyers for the state argued that the policy aimed at limiting the amount of people who congregate must be different from policies for individual engagement in commerce. The policy limits mass gatherings to 50. This is what I said before. If I was this church, I would start selling things. There you go. We're gonna sell God to you during church. Leave the churches alone, man. If they want to go get sick, let them go get sick. It's not up to me. No, I get you, Snub. I know in New York, they had the problem with shutting them absolutely down. And yeah, I got that part wrong. I still disagree with it. When you're saying Walmart can be open and can have as many people in as possible, but not Phil's House of God or whatever. Yeah. Religious gatherings are fine if they are the social justice kind. Yeah, it's Monkey fascism is a form of far-right authoritarian ultranationalism characterized by dictatorial power, forcible suppression of opposition, as well as strong regimentation of society. Far right. Define far right for me. Are we arguing that Mussolini was far right? I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about Mussolini. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I mean, because these days people think Hitler was far right. You know, socialist Hitler, far right. Monkey from Wikipedia. Oh, I know. Everything bad is far right. Have you guys noticed that? Everything bad is far right. Everything good is leftist. Is liberal. That's just liberal. That's being progressive. I'm waiting for the day to hear that Stalin was far right, that Mao was far right, Castro was far right, because they're totalitarian regimes. That's what it's become. Just totalitarianism. That is far right. Is it? No, not exactly. Not exactly. Mussolini defined fascism as corporate rule. Like I said, I don't know much about Mussolini. I'm just trying to. I've never heard him described as left or right, to be honest with you. So, is what it is. Uh-oh. Did I upset some people? I think I did. Not the first time. Not the first time I've done that. Anyhow, man. Sorry, I'm just looking at this every time I see it because it is still trending. That letter from the police that I read you guys a little while ago from Seattle, still trending is Judge grants restraining order halting Seattle ban on officers. So the judge has jumped in on there too, using crowd control. Yeah, can't do it, you guys, because that's going to cause issues. Trump signs an order to lower prescription drug costs. I didn't read this one. That's something I'm going to have to look into it more before I can actually talk on it. So we're going to skip that for now. Nicholas Sandman. Sandman. I'm not sure which way you're supposed to say it. I know there's an extra N in there, so I assume there's a different way to speak it. But he settled a lawsuit today, guys. He settled a lawsuit with the Washington Post. The terms have been kept private. Isn't it always funny that they always keep the terms private? Just wants to be like, yeah, we're sorry, we fucked up. We gave him $10 million. Is there a good reason? Is that a reason not to issue the terms so people don't know how much they can get from you? I guess in some cases it makes sense, but I don't understand it like this case. Why I'd be like, okay, part of us giving you this money is that you can't tell people what we gave you. That's no public apology. No. And Faithless said, heard it was his birthday too. Yes, it was his birthday. Turned 18 years old. So that's two down. He's got like 5 more to go. I think it is something like that. The other people that I know of, I know CBS is one of them. Is ABC and NBC? I can't remember all the people he's suing, but he's successfully negotiated a settlement, with both CNN and the Washington Post for them, lying about him. X43, thank you. I'm so sick of judges jumping in where there is no law and just declaring shit. They're acting like a case of legal, I'll say that properly. A case of legal priests. There you go. Well, I didn't see the judge's order for this, and I'm assuming it has something to do with that isn't against like Geneva Conventions at war. Yeah, which is stupid because it's just pepper spray. But you know what they can do in war? Shoot you. So if you want to take away the ability to gas somebody when they're being like that, then you got to go, all right, shoot them. Now, again, I do not have the judge's order in front of me and what her exact reasoning was, or his, could be a his. Sorry. Oh, cast. I'm sorry. That's how you say it. I always say it with the E because it's spelt with the E. My bad. Cast. Thank you. I will forget that the next time I use it, and if you remind me enough, I'll eventually get it right. I used to do that with cash also. I just did not know how to fucking say it, and somebody finally told me. I'm like, oh, well, huh. Looks like cash to me. Why the fuck it got an E at the end if it doesn't belong there? That makes the other one a hard, what's the word? I was going to say capital, but that's not the right. Fuck, I suck at English. I suck at English, you guys. But anyway, good for Sandman. That's two down. And frankly, he got the big one. Washington Post is the one that started all of this nonsense. I don't want to say they started it because everybody else was on the scent too. But they rushed to press immediately. And somehow already had an interview with Nathan Phillips, who was lying his fucking ass off. And by the time they went to press, the video was already on the internet, the full thing. They didn't bother with any of it. And then they wrote story after story, and then they got called on it. And so they started writing additional stories because they've come out and said, look, we corrected our story. There's a story from the Washington Post talking about the Washington Post correcting the Washington Post's coverage of Nick Sandmann. Did you catch all that? From the Post, about the Post, regarding the Post. And in this story of theirs, they link to a couple of other stories that they've written showing that they've corrected the record. And I don't know if they just thought nobody was going to go read these, but I did. I went and followed their fucking links. And their stories were, instead of coming out and saying that they were wrong, instead of saying Nathan Phillips lied, instead of saying we finally saw the video and it shows we were absolutely wrong, we apologize. No, they still made it sound like there was some kind of ambiguity there. It's like, well, nobody really knows what was going on. Nick Sandmann claims this is what happened. Instead of being like, yeah, we fucked up. Like, this is what he said happened. Nathan Phillips disagrees. They actually have that in there, that Nathan Phillips still stood by his story. And like, bitch, you can see he was lying. You can absolutely see it. The story he tells in that very first Washington Post interview is absolutely, positively a fucking lie, which you can see from the video. Because he makes it sound like they crowded around him. Like he was just walking up there and they got in his way, which is not what happened at all. They were standing there and he walked into the middle of them. I mean, a blatant fucking lie where you didn't even have to watch, because the original video of that from the Black Israelites, the ones who recorded it, that video is like 6 hours long or 3 hours long, something like that. And it's not until the very end that you catch this little part that happened with Nathan Phillips and the Covington kids. But there were clips out there of just the short part of it, of just Nathan walking up into this fucking group. And they're like, yeah, we don't know. I mean, it could be, he could be telling the truth. And that was their answer when people were like, you guys haven't corrected yourself. Like, we did. No, you didn't. You gave some vague bullshit that made it sound like maybe you were still right. And the only reason you went after these kids is because they had on those fucking MAGA hats. You're like, oh, this is Donald Trump's America. Right, Phil? Right, Phil DeFranco? This is Donald Trump's America. It is. It is Donald Trump's America. And this is how. You have a whole bunch of these kids who are standing there minding their own goddamn business, wearing their fucking MAGA hats, and some piece of shit comes up and starts garbage, and the press jumps on the side of the piece of shit. That is Trump's America. But he didn't do it. Thank you, Dangerous Spaces. The worst part is NBC interviewed Nathan Phillips at an anti-Catholic protest. Nathan Phillips being anti-Catholic seemed like a really important point. Well, yeah. One of the broadcast networks, I forget which one, they had Sandmann on, or sorry, they had Phillips on after we already knew the truth and let him lie again. Remember what I was telling you guys just a little bit ago about the press seeming to have an adversarial relationship with the White House? They cannot be accommodating enough to anyone who has anything bad to say about Trump. They can't. And this wasn't even Trump. This was just something that was tangentially related because the kids had fucking hats on. It was like, oh, Trump's made racists in America. He's made them all racist. I didn't. Stand there minding their own fucking business. Like happens so often. You guys ever see that video of the guy and his girlfriend walking into a bar? He's wearing a MAGA cap and some guy gets in his face. He starts giving him a whole bunch of shit. And it gets to the point where the guy in the MAGA hat, finally to defend himself, the other guy puts his hands on, he punches him. And the immediate reporting was, man in a MAGA hat beats up a guy in a bar. Yeah. Monkey, why do you always defend Donald Trump? Why you always lie about him? I feel like that's an important counter question. I feel that that's a good Socratic answer. Thank you, Anonymous. Sorry. My messages are being censored Where's Jack, and how much longer are these feds going to tolerate these commies? One, I apologize for the censoring. That is on YouTube's side, not mine. I wish that didn't happen. Two, thank you so very much for the donation. Three, I hope Jack's sleeping. This isn't something that we schedule. Whenever I do them, I send Jack the link, and when he can make it, he does. And finally, when are they going to stop tolerating this shit? When the crowd goes away. They're going to have to keep doing exactly what they're doing until the crowd goes away. Just now, I still have the stream up over on the on my other screen. The feds are standing out there and people are shooting fireworks at them. You know, the peaceful protesters. I'm sure that's just a prank, bruh. The media's on their side because they see this as anti-Trump. I asked this yesterday. Since George Floyd was killed, the president's numbers have tanked in all the polling. And before that, even with their shitty polls, the way they do them, he was going up. His numbers were rising. Some of the polls, it was his best numbers they've ever taken, even with coronavirus going on. And then George Floyd dies. And suddenly the president's numbers just drop. How does that happen? How does that happen? George Floyd was killed in Minneapolis, a city that is run by Democrats, has been run by Democrats for decades. The police chief is a fucking Democrat. It's all Democrats. It gets blamed on Republicans. Donald Trump's the one who takes the heat. Donald Trump's the one because, oh my God, he said he might put an end to it. He might send out troops to help stop this shit. He doesn't want people to speak freely. Is that what he said? That's how the media does it, or puts it out there. It's how they let it hang out there. They only show stuff that's a police officer hit somebody with a stick. They never show the context of that. A police officer pushed a man to the ground, except they didn't really push him to the ground. They gave him a little shove and he had no balance, so he fell on his ass and busted his head open. He was a provocateur. He's a professional demonstrator. Sucks that he got his head busted open. But they didn't do that on purpose. But that's what got shown, and that's what got displayed, and that's what gets told. And then Donald Trump makes a reference to somebody suggesting that it was faked, that the guy wasn't really hurt. And then Donald Trump doesn't care when the police hurt people. Yeah. If Jack were here, he'd say that's a hate fact. Yeah, I use hate facts too often. I get tired of defending Donald Trump, of defending Republicans. I'm a conservative. I'm not one of them. They piss me off because they aren't conservative. Specifically, not financially. They're getting ready to spend a shit ton of money to try to suck up to people because the election is coming. Money we don't have. Money we're going to have to borrow from. Anybody want to guess? Where are we going to borrow this from? How are we going to pay that bill? China. You know, the people we fucking hate. The people who gave us coronavirus. Yeah. But it's amazing. It's amazing how this press cycle has led to Donald Trump's numbers dropping when all of the shit that's going on is happening in, well, liberal cities. Liberal fucking cities. But then you get those wonderful pictures like that lady sitting naked in front of the police. Look how powerful this is, you guys. It's a woman. It's a woman standing in front of police naked. Isn't that powerful? One dude called it sacred. It's sacred. The fuck are you talking about? But that's what gets put out there. Not this shit that Kaylee showed yesterday. Not the shit that I'm watching right now and that many of you have joined me watching for the last 2 weeks. For those of you who don't know, I'll throw that stream in there. If you guys go over to Eyes on Stream, you guys can watch it in the background and just listen to me. Make sure you give him a like. Don't go over there. If you're representing Monkey, you go over there, you hit a like. You give this man some eyes on. He's growing pretty well right now, and that is largely thanks to you guys, and I appreciate it. I think he meant Skankrid. Faithless, you do amuse me. You come up with some good shit, man. I see Trey's not going anymore. He must have shut down to go take his balls to the hospital. But they don't play this shit on the news. They don't show this. They don't show, like, they actually talked about Ted Wheeler and him standing there, and I didn't see a reason for them to have gassed us. The motherfucker was literally standing in front of a fire. I pointed it out last night. I showed you where he was in relation to that fire. There's no goddamn way in hell he did not see that trash fire started by these shitbags inside the gate. It's not like it was even on their side of the gate. It was on the inside of the gate that they got a trash fire going. I don't see a reason for them to come out and do anything. And the press is like, yeah, we don't see a reason. They don't pay any attention to this shit. They pay no attention. They're still out there firing shit at the police. So when does it end? When the police fire back with real rounds. Because until then, yeah. Empowered women implies women have no power on their own. Well, depending on who you ask, they do or don't. They're either all powerful. Well, I think maybe it's kind of like in several different magic systems, depending on the game you play. A lot of magic systems use mana. So maybe they're all powerful for a little while, but they use it all up and then they have to rest and gain it back. So they're all powerful and then they're very, very weak. If anybody's got a better explanation for how they can be both, I'm willing to listen to it because it makes no sense. What the hell is up with the balloons? The last several nights, these two chicks have been bringing balloons to this thing. I did notice there's several more leaf blowers out there. Several more leaf blowers going on. It's wonderful. It's absolutely awesome to see these idiots trying to use leaf blowers that don't work. They did manage to get a tornado going either last night or the night before with their leaf blowers. It didn't get rid of the gas. It just got it spinning in a circle before it kept going on its way. Who knew PP in Pokemon stood for puss power? You know, yeah. They're still firing fucking fireworks at these guys. They're going to have to clear the street soon. They're getting to the point where, yeah. Don't forget, man, the president can call in like the National Guard to come help move this shit out. We're talking about protecting a national, well, not even a National Guard, call in the actual military if he had to. Come just clear the street out. Not shoot anybody. Just get the fuck out of the street. I did see a guy earlier. You're like, you guys are a bunch of pussies standing there behind your gate with your weapons. Like, you and any one of them, nothing but underwear, wearing nothing but underwear. My money is on them all day long. All day. You standing there hiding behind your fence. Funny thing is, when that fence wasn't up, as soon as those guys came out, even though they were outnumbered like 50-1, easily 50-1 some nights, that crowd still ran like a motherfucker. Not one of them stayed. Oh, God. Anyhow, idiot NATO. Yeah. If only there was a shark in it. That would have made it a little bit better. The only thing holding up that section of fence is the concrete barrier behind it. Yeah, there was one section that got broken yesterday. It's down near the end, down near the fence, kind of by where Ted Wheeler was standing the other night. It was broken out yesterday. These idiots, I mean, I don't understand why they're getting gassed. I don't understand why they're breaking shit. I don't understand why anybody's putting up with this. I know it might sound callous, but put a few of them down. When they're being violent like that and they're starting fire, pull one of them down. They're insurgents at this point. They hate America. They tell you this all the time. Thank you, Mighty Balzac. Just got here. Where the hell is Jack? I'm guessing sleeping, bud. I know you guys love Jack, but I have no idea where he's at. I wish he was here. He's fun to talk to, but it's not like I didn't give him the link. Or I always feel bad when you guys ask because I don't know. I haven't talked to him tonight. I haven't talked to him since we stopped talking yesterday morning. It's like the kids throwing a temper tantrum. Fuck, my mind wouldn't let me say that. It's sad. And, you know, here's the bad part of it. And I don't agree with these idiots, but there are a lot of them who are just out there and they're protesting or they're out there because they want to be part of something. And they're not the ones causing any of this shit. There's a lot of people out there like that. There really are. And you can really tell them because they run like fuck when the shit goes down. They're like, yeah, I don't want no part of this. Those people, I have no problem with them. None. If these other assholes would just leave the fence alone, stand at that fence all day long, shout until your throat goes sore. Keep your hands off the fence, keep your fireworks off the fence, keep your trash off it. Just stay the fuck back. Say whatever you want to say. The end. I don't care. Fine. But that's not what's going on, and I'm tired of hearing differently from these shitbags. Yeah. It's going to get to the point where they're going to have to shoot some of these people. And I'm not encouraging that, but they keep getting bolder and bolder, and with the press coverage the last couple of days, more and more of them are showing up. And one of these idiots is going to lead the charge, and these cops are going to get overwhelmed. These idiots are going to realize their numbers compared to those police, and the police are going to have to shoot them. I don't take any real joy in that part of it. I'm fine with them gassing the shit out of them. Makes them run. Like just right there. There's a cop standing there, and some jackass is shining a laser in his eye. At least, according to Kaylee today, I know people said yesterday 4, but at least 3 police officers have been blinded, possibly permanently, by those fucking lasers. They're not doing anything wrong. They're not doing anything wrong. They're just peacefully protesting. That motherfucker right there, you should be able to shoot him. Motherfucker trying to blind a police officer, you should be able to shoot him. Crimea River. Ah, I get it. Haha. Hey, from Minneapolis, we're currently not on fire. Good for you. It started there and it's spread everywhere else. Glad to see it's tramped down in your area. Yeah, what they did to your city was fucking disgusting. They just ran through like fucking Vikings and burned shit down everywhere. Mighty Balzac, thank you. Just shoot them a little bit, not a lot. Look, that one specifically who's trying to blind a cop, put in his leg. You're right in front of him. You can do that. Aim it right at his leg and go, do it again. And I know we're not supposed to be like that, monkey. You can't just shoot people for trying to blind folks. We have different opinions on how justice should be meted out. Look, I'd rather them arrest him, but there's a giant fence between them. Whoops. Got to do something to stop it now. A cattle prod. If you got a cattle prod, it could stick through there. I'd be all right with that too. Monkey, we can't do that stuff. Yeah, we can. That's cruel and unusual punishment. So, stop being cruel and unusual stupid. Shoot the laser if he loses a hand. Oh, well. Yeah, I mean, he's trying to aim it at the cop's eye, say shoot him in the leg. He falls to the ground. It's harder for him to aim it at the cop's eye directly. And then he's got to go at an upward angle, and it's really hard to hit the cornea that way. Just saying. Electrify that fence, and it'll take care of a lot of the problems. Anyway, I keep saying I don't want to talk about this, but I'm so irritated by it. I really, really am. What else is going on? The statues of Columbus. Yeah, we briefly talked about that yesterday. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't, because I don't have any particular attachment to Columbus. He found the new world, but we settled it. We made it America, not Spain. Yeah. And I know he's Italian, but the Spanish paid for the expedition. At least that's what we were taught in school, and I've never looked it up further. So if anybody is in here, actually, monkey, it was a combined gift from the Spaniards and the French and the Lithuanians. I don't care. I don't care. I like American mythos. I like there to be some mythology to it, especially for children, to get them involved. But when it comes to Columbus, I don't care. I think it's stupid to be taking down a statue. He killed the Indians, and he was a racist, and he sailed in the wrong lane. Whatever the fuck they say for this shit. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's all I have for stories tonight, guys. I'm just scrolling through some stories to see if I missed anything of import. I'm not sure that I did. And we'll check one news source that I like. I love my Washington Post. That's not a real newspaper, my guy. I know. It's all right. I like it. Homeless encampment in New York City getting bigger despite de Blasio's crackdown. Doctors are sharing bikini selfies after study criticizes inappropriate attire. Who cares? Gang of brutes viciously assault father, daughter inside of Harlem bodega. That's nice. Passenger cheers. Karen is kicked off flight for refusing to wear a mask. Yeah, I don't care about any of this stuff. So, guys, I am going to wrap up. We're going to do a short one tonight. I wasn't even sure I was going to do a show. Monkey's going to go get some sleep. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Thank you for the donations. You guys are awesome. Tonight, we will be on this channel, 9 p.m. Eastern time for Lords of the Night. Please come hang out with us there. I don't know about any game streams, guys. It'll depend on timing and everything. But watch Twitter as always to find out when I'm live. Everybody, have a good one. I'll see you next time.